well, not free random replays, hopefully. Hopefully he gave me the free replays, including all of the ones for this series labeled Games 1, Game 2, and Game 3. So this is game number 1. It's going to be Patience versus Blind. We're going to be starting up on Habitation Station, and we saw some PvZ yesterday from Patience. Very aggressive, very just standard, and just, you know, taking advantage of Nurture's greed. Now, I think Bly will play completely different here, but we can get into that a little bit more after we do introduce these two players.
That is absolutely right, Wardy. Spawning on the right side of Habitation Station is going to be the Red Zerg player. From Team Acer, it is Bly going with the extractor trick there, and his opponent spawning on the left, it is none other than the newest acquisition of the German team Alien Invasion, the Korean player Patience, playing Protoss in blue colors.
So, I mean, my expectations for this game is Bly's going to do some builds that I'm not going to understand, expect, or anything, or maybe I will understand them and they'll, you know, just be non-standard. So straight away we can see he's actually checking for proxies, which is something Patience is a player. He's a player who will do this kind of thing. He will proxy gateways. He will, you know, just do crazy stuff. So always good to check for that straight away. You know, he doesn't want to lose the first map here to something silly and then maybe go on a bit of a tilt, you know, hitting himself in the head saying, oh, why didn't I just check? You know, I'm sending this drone down to the natural anyway to make a hatchery. You know, why didn't I just do that? And, you know, mentioning that hatchery first does come out here for Bly.
Yeah, that's a pretty greedy opening. I mean, considering this is a two-player map, considering the prevalence of gateway openers for Protoss players, they really like opening gateways as of late. It could be a little bit risky because your opponent knows exactly where you have spawned, and this map, you know, you can go for a forge expand if you want to. It's not difficult to wall that off. So if that's what Patience was doing, then Bly could have been in a bit of a trouble here and could have been facing a cannon rush. But
Look
yeah,
at this,
so far.
though. Free hatch before pool at the gold base as well. And I was going to mention, you know, this is something which Zerg players do like to do on this map, and it kind of makes me wonder why. Well, okay, I guess Bly gets to check if there's a gateway there before he puts down the third hatch before pool, but, you know, why don't you just, as a Protoss player, you know, go for a forge expand to stop anything like this being able to happen? Because as it stands right now, he has no real way of denying this. Yes, a single zealot's going to come across the map, but 4 to 6 lings are going to be able to come out and stop that, and 4 to 6 lings after going for a free hatch before pool isn't going to be a problem. You know, it's going to be a very small indent to the profit you gain. So I really feel like, oh, in fact, there's actually already a zealot here. How did I miss that one? So there's already a zealot. This is a little bit different, actually. This first zealot comes out much faster than I thought, and he's going to get one drone already, and now chasing down the others. Good control by Bly, though. Keeps most of them alive, but he will lose some mining time because of this. And 10 Zerglings now on the way, so this is good. If he gets another drone or so, he'll, or at least trades well against these Zerglings, he'll have definitely gotten his worth out of this.
Oh, and we have a second zealot at the natural base of Bly, so, you know, at first I thought those 10 Zerglings, that's a little bit of an overkill, a little bit of an overreaction, but apparently Bly did see that second zealot coming towards his natural base, so this is actually a good amount of Zerglings to deal with this pressure. A probe is coming back as well for a rescout. Let's see if it gets it. You know, funny thing, Patience did check for a third base over here when he was leaving Bly's base for the first time, but he did not. Oh, he saw a little bit of creep at the gold here, but I'm not entirely sure if he recognizes that there's actually a third base.
You can't even see that. You can't even see that on the minimap, like.
Yeah, you can only see that if you look there directly. I don't know if he has. Now we have Lings inbound in Patience's natural base and the main. Good force field on the ramp, zoning out those Lings. Only one makes it through, but yeah, Acer Bly hitting back, forcing Patience to lose some mining time of his own as well.
I mean, this has been effective from Patience, because look at the worker counts, 31 probes to 24 drones, and you know, yes, that's going to start evening out now. Yes, you know, he kind of delayed his warp gate a tiny amount to get them zealots out first. But altogether here, I think like Patience has done a good job. I mean, he's still ahead in workers up until this point just now, and that's a long time to have been ahead in workers for. You know, them Lings, they didn't really achieve too much. Yeah, they got another probe kill. Maybe if Patience defended maybe a little bit better. In fact, no, they didn't even get a probe kill, so actually that was brilliant by Patience, and that's probably why he does have this lead which we see from him. Or
Yeah,
until
and
then.
we have another 10 lanes on the way, which is really interesting considering speed is miles away from being done. And do you think that Bly will just like go ahead and start munching on the front of Patience here, trying to
Yeah,
trying to force as
he
many force
could.
field out as possible?
But I don't think he's going to use any force fields. I mean, 2 sentries actually do a surprising amount of DPS to Zerglings, so as you can see, they're just going to even step back here. And, you know, with the wall there, the first sentry, it can be pulled back as well. And he's actually going to warp in more sentries, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing here. He's only on 3 gateways and a forge, so he's not really got anything else to spend that tech on. And he's going to need these force fields to defend this third base, which he's got halfway done already. So a very greedy third base is here for Patience, and he needs them force fields defensively. As well as for hallucination to scout what is my opponent going for. You know, make sure he is droning out. Make sure he's not going for a huge burst to try and take down this base.
You know, the thing is, we have a Roach Warren finished. Lair is on the way. I mean, Bly could go for a bust on that third base. He needs to shut that down because, you know, a 3... Or he could take a 4th base of his own. There we go, Bly. That's another type of response you can go for. So basically he's saying, you know what, I'm not going to try and risk shutting that base down with Link Roach, because what if you are really good, you will shut me down really hard and I will end up losing more resources than is viable for me. So I'm going to try to out-econ you. I'm going to try to outmass in my income. He is producing 10 roaches regardless, though. He still needs to drone up a little bit to saturate that 4th base that is up and coming right now. But meanwhile, he needs to put on some kind of pressure. Let's see if he produces another round of roaches after this. No, it's going to be drones. Perfect reaction there by Bly. He's just going to put on some pressure onto the 3rd base, force all the attention of Patience to be around this nexus here, while he comfortably drones up the 4th base.
Yeah, and these roaches are spotted coming across the map, and Patience, he's got an Immortal well on the way. He should be able to hold on long enough here at his 3rd base. You know, he should be fine. And the thing is, I think Bly, more than anything, he makes these roaches just to take a little bit of map control, just in case, you know, 3 zealots head towards his newly made 4th base. Just something to deal with them possibilities here in this game. So, I do like this from Bly. You know, I think, you know, they weren't maybe necessarily this early, but it's just a safety thing that he's done. And, yeah, I mean,
you know, interesting thing, he's getting a Spire behind this, so
oh, wow.
He might be looking for a Muta switch, but I don't think it would be viable right now at this point in the game. I think he'll have to wait. Oh my goodness, 5th base coming up for Bly already. He is taking bases like a madman, but yeah, if you want to do a Muta switch, you either have to produce an outrageous amount of them very quickly, or you have to wait a while and starve the Protoss out, make a couple of exchanges in your army composition with the Protoss, so that his anti-air is not as strong. You know, if you keep producing roaches, he's probably going to keep producing immortals, making the Stalker count a little bit lower, and then you switch. But these armies completely bypassing each other. The Lynx stream into the 3rd base as Patience is on the move. Being aggressive towards Bly. I don't know if this will work for Bly.
Yeah, I don't think it will work for Bly. I just don't think he's got anywhere near enough to do significant damage at this 5th base. I mean, a warp in right now of, yeah, a few zealots is going to do, like, so much damage. And with that throw and overcharge, he's pretty much fine. And look at this, Patience, he sends a lot of his army, the zealots up to the gold base. Mutas do come in, and this is now spotted, but Patience, he has enough anti-air with his main army here to keep doing damage.
The 3rd Nexus goes down for Patience, and this might turn into a crazy base race, which I don't think if Patience has the best position to go to, given the fact how many bases Bly has out on the maps. More Stalkers are being warped in here, but now the Lynx do come back. Good force fields there by Patience. How many Mutas do we have here? 12 Mutas? That's not enough to take on this army.
8 more Mutas about to spawn, but the Spire will be the next target here for Patience. And Bly losing that Spire, you know, then he's basically stuck with what he's got, plus Zerglings. But Zerglings in this situation, they're more or less useless. And there's so many Stalkers right now, and the most important thing, they've got +2, and they have Blink as well. And that makes them trade so efficiently against these Mutalisks here. Patience pretty much has stabilized over at home. He's got Templar Archives down too, which is huge. And look at this, he's just trading here, and even if he just trades all of this army, I think it's okay, because he's killed off a base. He's killed off a lot of mirrors, and he's killed the Spire.
Yeah, he's blinking into the main base as well, trying to maximize his damage potential, but right now it's just too many units here for the Zerg player. All the Sulkers are going to go down. The third base, however, at the gold has survived. The fourth base down here has survived. The fifth base is okay, so the only thing that went down was the natural, along with all the tech, the Roach Warren, the Spire. But keep in mind, Bly, he's got multiple hatcheries. He can still produce lings until such a time that his technology, his tech tree rebuilds. The biggest problem, however, he's got right now, and this is why he's harassing so much, is an absurdly low worker count. He's down to 33 drones compared to Patience's 61 probes, and no, this is not what you want to do, Bly, losing these mutas basically for free.
Yeah, that's really not what we want us to start doing right now. So, yeah, I mean, these mutas, they're trying to do some damage, but the problem is the Stalk is positioned well in the main. Photon overcharge is there as well right now. There's multiple cannons at the natural, and there's Archons protecting the third. And, you know, this Templar Archives is a savior right now for Patience. Getting these Archons up so quickly really shut down any potential counterattack from Bly, because Archons are so good against mutas. They're so good against Lings, and, I mean, Bly just can't do anything. He's trailing by about 30 supply. He's trailing in workers. He's trailing in army. He doesn't have any upgrades to speak of. And Patience right now looking for attack he can make work. Because I'm pretty sure Patience just wants to go and kill him.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Bly is doing a decent job of keeping him at his bases or around his bases, just trying to posture and you know, poke at him from different sides. But Patience knows that his army is way too big for Bly to handle in a direct fight, so he just goes out. Lings do run past. There's a warping of a Zealot there, so blocks that entrance. Archons are taking down the gold base. Meanwhile, a couple of Zealots at the main base, and recently a harassment down here at the fourth as well. And Bly is just scrambling to defend everything at once, but he's not going to be successful. His drone count is down to 29, and his army supply is abysmal, looking at 16 here.
Yeah, Bly is really just falling behind in this game. I honestly, I don't really like his build. I mean, he went straight into mutas, but he didn't really have anything to, you know, go into mutas with. And I don't know if I don't know how well this scouting was earlier in the game, but if he'd scouted a bit better, he would have realized Blink was on the way. You know, he would have thought about, you know, what composition is my opponent going for? Is this really going to work out? And you know, Patience with +2 with Blink, you could see even though he was unprepared for mutas, he was able to just make enough.
Yeah, well, we have 14 more Mutalisks on the way, but honestly, if we take a look at the income, I mean, Bly is barely mining anything right now, and Patience's income is looking super healthy, and there's the G from Bly.
Wow, so a very intriguing game number one, if I do